Okay.
Welcome back to the Intersint podcast. This is episode 52. And once again, I'm starting this one because I never get a chance to do it because you always take the lead on this.
You never say you want to do it. And then it's just awkward silence. So I just dive in. I don't know what we're doing.
How do you know that I'm just like gearing up to start it though?
Well, then just do it. Don't care. Just start.
No.
just hit the gas pedal and just go.
No. For me, it's like I have to think about what I want to say before I say it when it comes to stuff like this.
Well, so do I, but then I just go with it. It's like the Michael Scott thing is like I just say a sentence and I hope that it catches up to me before I finish it because I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, but you make it... I feel like it's easier for you because you have weird thoughts that like go into your head as you're talking.
Yeah.
I know what to say, but then once I'm done saying it, my mind goes blank.
So what did I just say?
What did I just say?
It's like you have a short-term memory. No, what is it? The one where you forget things quickly?
Amnesia?
Kind of, yeah. Like you're on a very short loop of like once you say something, you're like, I don't remember saying anything.
Yeah. But I was prepping lunches this morning, and I always get these intrusive thoughts as I'm doing it of like, I have a knife in my hand. Like, what if I just slice my hand open? Or like, what if I just like poke my tongue with the knife?
You have those thoughts.
I have those thoughts. I'm not going to act on it because I know the consequences if I do act on it. But it's just like those intrusive thoughts that I cannot escape.
Oh no. Like I get intrusive thoughts and lately I've been acting on a lot of them at work. Which
oh no.
Is probably gonna get me
That's
into
dangerous.
But it's like we went to the mall not too long ago, and at the mall we have a fountain, and there's people who sit on the fountain. And I had a thought of what if we just walked up and just pushed someone backwards into the fountain? And I kept thinking about it. I'm like, stop thinking about this. We can't think about this. Just keep moving and keep walking.
Wow.
Just some guy on his phone, and we're just like, see ya.
Because I had this at work too, of just like trying to pull the fire alarm just so I can escape.
I think about every time I pass the fire alarm at my apartments, I look at it and I'm like, what happens if I just pull this right now?
It's illegal, but I want to pull it. But I was thinking of like, I wonder if men and women have different intrusive thoughts based on like gender and like severity of it.
Maybe. I never really thought about this.
It just popped into my head the other day of like, I know me and mine are more like the whole like millennial stereotype of wanting to kill yourself.
Yes.
That's like basically what mine are. But then I know like women have like more, not like wanting to hurt themselves, but more like, oh, like what if this happened type of thing. Where I think of like, if it's like men, it's like more intense of wanting to like hurting something or someone or themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not on the same page here with you on this one. I don't have those. Like I run through scenarios in my head of just like, oh, what if I'm chopping up potatoes or something and I accidentally have my finger underneath and I cut off my finger? Like that's a scenario, but that's not an intrusive thought of I want to do this. It's just like,
oh, I have the intrusive thought of I want to do this.
See, that seems like
yeah, I need help.
You might need to go to therapy or something on this one. There's this whole thing in psychology. Psychologically. Where apparently it's a common thing of kind of what you're saying, where humans just have this thought of wanting to jump off the edge of something tall. Have you heard about this?
No, because I've never wanted to.
There's a name for it. And apparently it's a common thing where like if someone's like in a mall on the second story and they're looking over the balconies, there's sometimes people have the thought of, I just want to jump over this right now. Not for like to kill yourself, but just to jump off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had those. I thought you meant like off a rooftop and just falling down and wanting to kill yourself.
Well, I mean, yeah, just anywhere high, like people have this thought, and then there's a specific word for it, and then like just sometimes people act on it and actually do it, and it's like,
jeez.
Yeah, it's so weird. Humans are weird.
And that made me think of like, because now you're saying scenarios, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if you've been on the internet at all lately, but there's this like thing going around on the internet of, can 100 men take on one silverback gorilla?
I knew this is where you're gonna go.
And we had this conversation at work, and I'm just like, God. No.
So I heard about this at work too, and then I'm like, what are we talking about right now? And then I get home, and on YouTube Shorts, it's showing up everywhere, and I'm like, I can't escape this question. Like, I don't want to deal with this.
The only reason I brought it up is because I saw somebody put like a visual graphic of what that would look like. And I'm like, this actually looks interesting.
What does that visual graphic even look like? Like, what is the visual graphic?
It's just it's a computer generated image of like 1,000 men and 100 gorillas, like just facing each other. And just like the amount of like square footage they take.
Wait, is it 100 gorillas? I thought it was 1.
They made it into like 100, but the whole scenario is 1.
Yeah, okay. I guess because this is the thing we're all talking about now, what was your standpoint on this?
Have you met a gorilla is my standpoint.
No. But I've seen videos of them being terrifying.
Exactly. So the people who actually want to take this thing on are crazy.
Right, but the argument I've heard against this, which I agree with, is that with 1,000 men or people, yeah, you're gonna have some casualties. That's a given.
Of course, that's a given.
Gonna die.
Yeah.
But because of how many there are, you're gonna just exhaust the gorilla to the point where it doesn't do anything anymore. Like, it doesn't have unlimited energy.
That is true. You just have to be in the back of the group.
Yes. As long as you're not on the front. Dude, you probably have these old, like, Civil War movies and whatnot. I always think about, like, how unlucky are those people in the front? Like, can I be like 5 rows back because this is not the ideal spot to be standing?
Not even that. It's like, were they forced to be up there or did they volunteer themselves to be at the front? Because if it were me, it'd be like, I'd be at the very back trying to escape the other way. Just sneak out.
I love the idea of like a giant crowd of people and they're like, we're missing one. And then you hold up your gun and like, I'm back here. And like, because you're so tiny, they can't see you. And I was like, how was that order determined? Like, okay, you're our worst soldier. You're up front.
I guess. Yeah, I guess the worst ones would probably be up front, right?
I guess so. And how terrifying would that be? Like, all right, well, I'm going to be in this fight for about 10 seconds and then I'm done. You know one dumb thing I did as a kid or thought as a kid?
What?
I mean, obviously I wasn't very smart, but
clearly
we were watching a movie about Gettysburg because I think we were taking a field trip out to Gettysburg.
Oh, okay.
And while watching the movie, I didn't know, I mean, I was young, but I thought everything in the movie was real. Like, I thought these actors were literally dying on screen and like getting shot and being killed.
Honestly, that's what I thought about. I feel like every kid has thought this of like action movies or fighting movies or any like shooting movies of like, oh, they're dead now.
Yeah. Like your young child brain can't comprehend that there's special effects and like fakery
and
going
stunts,
on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, these people are just,
they're sacrificing
so much
their lives.
They must be really committed to this movie.
Why would anyone sign up for this?
Exactly. That was my thought. Like, why would you want to become an actor? This seems so dangerous. Could you imagine just like if like movies, there were no special effects or anything? So it's like how much calmer action movies would be nowadays.
Were there action movies before stunts or stunt doubles were, I guess, invented?
Yeah. Like all the old black and white movies.
So they still did their own stunts.
They were Tom Cruising it before Tom Cruise came around. I mean, yes and no. Dude, there's this whole, if you want to deep dive on this, they break down the old school visual effects that they had. It blew my mind. Like the creativity behind making things look dangerous when they're not at all. I'm like, holy God, how did you guys come up with this stuff with your limited technology?
That's interesting. You'll have to link it.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
But just imagine, like, I always thought about this too with the gorilla. Like, how terrified would you be as a gorilla seeing 1,000 men coming at you? I feel like you would know that I should probably get out of here.
In a sense, yeah. Unless you're like provoked. So then at that point, like, I guess rage would take over.
I guess. I don't know. I've seen videos of like people in the jungle and a silverback walks by and like just casually grabs a guy by the shirt and drags him for a little bit and lets go. And the guy looks so terrified. And, like, and there's nothing he can do. So he just stays still and just gets dragged along like a doll. And it's just like, all right, well.
And this is my life now.
We're going to see what happens here.
I mean, yeah, because you can't really do anything about it. Because if you start like flailing, it's gonna like either get spooked or provoked, and it'll just attack you.
Oh yeah, if you try to do anything, that thing's gonna end your life in a second. Like there's no stopping it. Just like they're just like pure muscle. They are terrifying creatures.
Oh yeah. Although it's also very funny to see like them acting the way they do in zoos. I don't know if you've seen like those videos.
Yeah, like the children like
twirling gorilla.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in the bathtub, the swimming pool. But at that point, it's like, what do you do? Like, if I put you in an enclosure for your entire life, you're gonna be bored and start dancing around as well.
Or just get angry enough to start like beating something alive. That's why, like, how I guess why orcas, I guess, get provoked in the way they do.
You mean like the ones in the zoos?
Like, yeah, at SeaWorld.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a life to be living.
No.
That's my whole take about zoos is always like,
how humane is it?
Yeah, it's bad. I agree with that. But at the same time, you're also saving these creatures that need to be saved.
Yeah.
So I can see both sides of the coin, and it's hard to make a good stand on either side because...
As long as they, like, do, like, conservation efforts.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and not just, like, enclosing them just for the sake of just enclosing them for money.
Yeah, it's like with the pandas. Like how we pretty much have them in zoos because they can't survive on their own, pretty much. So we have to...
I mean, yeah, you've seen the videos.
Yeah, we're actively trying to keep these things alive, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to. we
don't. Same.
I want to tumble out of this tree from 30 feet.
Me too. Let's do it together.
But I mean, that made me think too of like, is there ever an animal you see when you're walking around where you're just like on edge when you see this thing?
I mean, it used to be dogs.
Well, I feel like it kind of is for you still.
It depends, yes.
It's like if there's a dog in the wild.
The ones that have ankle access are the ones that are scary to me.
Ankle access. Dude, those are the most vicious demon things in the planet. Like every time I take my dog outside, there's this little wiener dog. And anytime it sees any dog whatsoever, it just starts barking its head off and like wanting to come over to the dog. And like my dog, which is like a German Shepherd mix, just looks over and I'm like, what? And just keeps walking like, screw off. I don't care about you.
Aw.
Little dog syndrome. There's a time when like one of the little dogs got off of their leash and ran after my dog.
Oh, jeez.
And like I saw it from a distance, like this thing booking it towards my dog, barking. And he just stood there and like just looked at it. Was like, what are you gonna do?
Have you seen me and have you seen you?
So I'm like, I just wait, and because it's so little, I picked it up by its harness and like picked it up and like walked him over to his owner, like, here you go.
Yeah, you dropped this.
And my dog's just like, okay. Like,
cool.
Can we go back on our walk, please?
Aw.
That's why I don't get why there's these bans on what? Oh, the cough thing. Do you want to explain why you're laughing?
So your camera is on a lag, and so anytime you cough, I'll hear the cough, but there's nothing visually there. It's just like you're just sitting there. A split second later, you'll like turn over and make the movement of a cough, but nothing comes out. And so it's just you like silently going like...
And I'm so confused on like why there's bans on bigger dogs in apartments. I'm like, the little ones are the evil ones. Why is my big dog who listens and doesn't do anything the one that can't come into the apartment complex?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I get huskies because they're very vocal.
Oh yeah, they are.
But I don't understand like why your dog isn't allowed.
He keeps himself. He doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, you have the demon chihuahua down the hallway that's like
yapping away.
Goes off nonstop every single day. But yeah, things that you're like on edge. Is there anything?
Oh, I forgot we had that initial conversation. Yes and no. I feel like there's really nothing here. I mean, obviously spiders. No matter what kind of spider it is, I'm just like, nope, not even going to entertain this. Go away.
I know, you don't even like the jumping spiders.
No, it's a spider.
Well, yes, but they're so cute.
From a picture, yes. I'll give you that.
Oh, I sent you one. When I got home from work the one day, there was a jumping spider on the wall in my bedroom.
See, I would have just burned that bedroom down.
No, he was just chilling there. He wasn't moving. I got my camera up close to him and he's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll be back. And then I take the dog outside and I come back and he was gone. I'm like, where did you go? Now I'm kind of scared.
Exactly. That is my whole thing. If you leave them be, they'll escape somewhere else and you cannot find them. And then you have this idea or thought that it's going to be just crawling into your mouth as you sleep.
It's not even the mouth that worries me with the jumping spiders. It's the ear. Have you ever seen that video?
Yes.
So that's the one
Yes.
That's the one I'm worried about. I'm like, I don't want you going in my ears. Which I think I got bit by a spider on the bottom of my foot, and it hurts to walk.
When was this?
I don't know. I don't know when it happened, but I'm like...
Oh, like you're experiencing that now?
Yeah, like...
How much you want to bet it's that jumping spider?
I don't think... Maybe. It might be.
You thought it was cute. It bit you.
And on the bottom of the foot, like how inconvenient of a spot where it's like, I need to walk and it kind of hurts every time I'm walking.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've gotten bit on my feet living in this state sucks.
Not even that. The amount of times the bugs have attacked you living in this state.
Ever since I got stung by the bee in my head, bugs just keep crashing into my face, and I don't understand why. I'll be on walks during lunch around the lake, and just like out of nowhere, I get slapped in the face by a bug. And I'm like, what is happening?
Hey, at least you have glasses to protect your face so it doesn't smash you in your eye.
I feel like I need to wear like a hockey mask or something just to like prevent myself from...
Or wear those like clip-on bug repellents.
Oh, yeah. I'll just tie a citronella candle to my back as I'm walking.
I just hold one next to you.
Stay away.
So what about you? What about what animals put you on edge?
Birds.
Really?
I don't want to get pooped on. So anytime I see...
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Anytime I see a bird up in the tree and like I try to walk around it and it hops on its branch to be above me, I'm like, I don't trust you right now.
What are you doing?
What are you planning?
Yeah, even that, like, even when they're flying, I'm just like, nope.
Yeah. When they fly and they're nowhere over top of you and then they turn to go over top of you, I'm like, are you planning something right now?
What are you planning?
I get so paranoid.
Have you ever been pooped on?
Once as a kid.
Same.
Like, I was outside playing and we had a tree in our yard and I remember hearing a bird and I look up and I'm like, oh, a bird. And then boom, right on me from that point. And I was traumatized since that point.
I think for me, it was like elementary school on my shoulder, like on the back of my shoulder.
Oh, that's...
And I didn't notice it until later.
Oh, okay, that's bad.
So I was just walking around school with bird shit on my shoulder the entire day.
No one told you?
No, I was the new kid. I was bullied.
Jeez, that's a terrible way to start your school year.
That's what the course of my entire school career.
Oh, boy.
No one wanted to talk to the poopy new girl.
That's so mean.
If that doesn't tell you anything about the state, I don't think anything else will.
That is true. Yeah, people don't talk to people.
People are cold here. Because that was a huge, like, difference to me moving here. Like, everyone was so warm and welcoming in San Francisco, and then coming up here is just like no one wanted to be your friend at all.
Oh, I agree. Like, even having the dog outside, back when I first moved out here before COVID and everything, I would take him up to the dog park, and the amount of people I like would try to start conversations with, and they just kind of weren't having it a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And then especially after COVID, you can't get a conversation out of anyone now. So I'm like, all right,
anyone.
well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yay. It's like the one reason like I kind of want to like move out of the state.
Do it.
That's easier said than done. It's being worked on.
It is. But I mean, it just annoys me how we keep voting for things that make the state better, and they're just like, oh, thanks for voting. Nah, we're not going to do it. Like, how is that legal?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like, and I know we've had this conversation already of, like, if the state didn't have, like, any of its, like, natural places to see and, like, explore, like, hikes and, like, the mountains and whatnot, I don't think I'd be living here.
Oh, no, the surrounding areas and, like, the places to go see and nature and stuff, that's the only thing positive about this state. The amount of taxes we have, the amount of people, and not...
Like, everything else is just absolute shit.
Yeah, the infrastructure everywhere just is terrible. You only have the nature part of it. That's good. So it's like...
You're lucky you have this, otherwise no one would live here.
Did we talk about the thing they implemented in the state out of nowhere, and we had to get, like, insurance for?
Oh, no. We've never talked about it on the show.
It was just at work one day. And they're like, oh, so by the way, there's this thing coming in where you have to pay into it. There's no way around it.
No.
And I don't even remember what it was. Is like another life insurance or something?
It's long-term life insurance that you had to buy into unless you had an already established long-term life insurance with another company.
And there's no voting on this. There was nothing. It was just like, hey, we're doing this, by the way.
The thing is like, if you opted into this, you're stuck with it and you're stuck in this state because if you take it anywhere else, it's not going to follow you.
Yeah.
And you just lose that money because they take that money out of your paycheck.
The instant you leave and move to another state, you lose that and it's done. Like you can't get it back ever again.
Yeah.
The biggest scam ever. And that was like the day that happened, we're all just like, all right, we're moving somewhere else.
Yeah. I think I still have the Allstate one. I need to go look into that and like cancel it.
I remember...
Because you never signed up for it, right?
I think I can say this. I got an exemption.
I did too.
You did too.
Yeah. But
good.
You had to enroll in another company.
So I got a thing. I got my exemption letter saying you're exempted from this.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple months later, it was canceled because I didn't continue on and get something else.
Oh.
So I've never had it.
Okay.
But when I started at my new job, they were gonna do the thing for that insurance. I'm like, oh no, I have an exemption letter, not telling them that it's canceled already. And I gave them the exemption letter, and they're like, oh cool, yeah, this works. And then I still haven't paid anything into it, and I still don't have any system. And
I guess that kind of worked out for you for like procrastinating and not doing shit.
I know. See, what have I been saying this entire show? Procrastination works. It gets things done.
Well, now I'm going to be looking into that and canceling mine.
You can.
Because there's no way in hell I want to pay into that anymore.
Well, that was what I wanted to lead into. There was a vote for making that an optional thing and not you have to pay into it or else.
Right.
So who knows if that passed, and if it did, let's see if they even enforce it so that we can cancel out of it, or you can.
I mean, either way, I probably just will because I have the exemption letter.
That too.
And I just won't tell anyone.
Exactly. Except for everyone listening.
We can cut this out.
But and another animal too is squirrels.
Oh, we're on this animal thing. Okay.
They're so unpredictable that...
Really?
To me, I'm like... It's never happened, but what if one day you're walking by and it jumps out of a tree onto your face?
I don't think this ever happened, but okay. That'd be scary because you don't know if they have rabies or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're so tiny and squirrely that you...
Hence the name squirrel.
Those tiny little claws digging into your face. No, thank you. Oh, no, those are another one. And I always... as well, crows. They always just seem like they're gonna attack you at any time and they know they can get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, they are pretty smart.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you can't really like just ignore them. Because they can do things to you.
Especially when you see one on the ground and it's doing its little walk thing. And then there's another crow up top that is keeping a surveillance thing. And is like cawing at the other one. You're like, what are you telling him?
Don't stop talking.
What are you guys planning? I don't like this right now. And like, especially with my dog, I don't want them to see that as a threat and then just like poke out our eyeballs. My tongue got into like a glitch and I couldn't get that word out. Because you were on the phone with me once and you're like, what is that sound? And I was like, there was a crow on a branch literally right next to my head screaming its head off.
Oh.
And like, I'm with the dog and like the bird is literally like right here looking at me just like, like, shut up. I'm on the phone.
Excuse me, sir.
What are you yelling about? You're a bird. But yeah, aside from that, like, I don't really have like any other things that I'm like wary about.
Until we go into the Olympics and there's bears and mountain lions.
You know, that's honestly why we haven't really gone there for hikes yet.
Yeah.
Because just the fact of just like, it's people get lost there all the time and the mountain lions, I'm just like, I don't think we're ready or prepared to go into this area.
But I do want to go.
I mean, we did see that one thing of like putting giant eyeballs on your backpack and stuff.
Yeah.
To prevent the mountain lions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we bring the dog.
But that's like, that would have to be like a shorter trip because of his age.
Oh, yeah. We couldn't do that. Never mind. Because like I was thinking with a dog, you could at least hear things before we hear them or smell things.
Oh, true.
And warn us. But... I don't know. That's...
I think he's done. He doesn't want to do that anymore.
He doesn't know.
I'll just leave you to fend for yourself.
Especially for like 40 minutes into this hike, and he's just like, I just want to sleep right now. I don't want to do anything. I mean, whenever I went, there's a cave around here near Mount St. Helens.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's nothing in the cave. But in the back of my head, with all the movies I've seen, I was expecting there to be like a mountain lying in the pitch blackness of the cave, just like waiting for someone to come in.
Yeah. Or like not even a mountain lion, just a person.
That too, yeah.
People are the most scariest animals.
That's what I've always said about ghost hunts. I want to go to an abandoned place to like see what we can find. I'm not terrified of ghosts. I'm terrified of humans being there because I don't know what they're going to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, it makes me wonder every time we watch like a ghost show or something, do they have a team of people like searching the entire area before they start filming?
Probably. Just to do like their initial setup and like have the hosts of the show explore like, oh, you're going to go into here.
Yeah. Like,
they have to do like a sweep of it before like they send crew down there.
Yeah. Yeah. And security just in case. Like,
yeah,
you would have to hire that. I saw this video of like people, I think it's in another country, they were abandoned, or they were at an abandoned hospital.
Okay.
And they had one of those Aztec death whistles. Have you heard those?
No.
Okay. I'll have to send it to you, but it just sounds like,
okay.
It sounds like a lady just screaming at the top of her lungs. Like, or almost like a banshee, kind of.
Interesting.
Or no. What animal screams like a lady? A mountain lion?
I know what you're talking about. I cannot.
It's like that creepy, like, female yell.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Like, it's a very, like, feminine yell.
Yeah. So that's what these whistles are. So they were, like, just walking around, and they look out, and they see more people coming in that they don't know to explore the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And the people went, like, down into the basement. So those people went down into the basement as well. And just blew the whistle as loud as they could. And the people shit themselves and ran out of the building and just booked it through the woods to leave. And I'm like, you know, this is going to start an urban legend now because of this experience.
Yeah.
Like, if we were out at a building and we heard something like that, I best believe I'm never going back there again.
No, I mean, even if you and I go into an abandoned building, I'm not the one who's going to be leading it. You are.
This just happened recently when we went to that flea market. We're walking to the subway and you're behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like, well, this isn't a good area either. Like, there's a bunch of sketchy people around.
Yes. Even in broad daylight. Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, why are you in the back? You should be in front so that...
Why did you have us in the back?
You were in the back. You chose to be back there.
You were running off ahead on your own. You could have been polite and waited or just go behind us to protect us.
That too. Yeah.
Oh, you were thinking about yourself.
You guys wanted to be nice and wait for cars to drive. And I'm just like, just walk across the street. Don't worry about the cars.
Get hit? Have you not met people here?
Yeah, get hit and then you get a payout. You get money. Win.
You're not wrong. Although would the being out of commission for a few weeks because you got hit by a car be worth it?
Yeah, I'll take it. Give me the money. I'm good.
Okay, but what if you die?
You won't.
Okay, that is a win too, actually.
Sure. You don't have to pay bills.
Exactly. Fine. Next time I will take up your advice and start running. Don't drag my hand back and like hold me back the next time I want to jump across a parking lot.
No, that's different. You
How? Explain.
We'll be going to like the mall or something and you're just in La La Land just walking around like everything's all awesome. You don't even look at the cars coming and like there's a car coming at like 30 miles per hour. And you go to just step out in front of this thing, and I had to like pull onto your shirt and pull you back because you're about to walk into traffic.
But I want the payout.
That is different. They are going fast enough that it will be bad.
And how do you know that some person will not blow a stop sign and just run over you?
Oh, they probably could, but I would imagine they're going slow enough. Plus, every street we crossed, they were already stopped or going very slow. So, I mean... what's the worst that's going to happen in that situation?
Fine, I'll give you that one.
I've noticed whenever I'm like out and about, if I'm in a car, I hate people walking in bikes. But if I'm out walking and being the bikes,
you hate people in the cars?
I hate the people in the cars.
Same. Main character syndrome over here.
Because I know if I was in a car at a stop sign and 3 people just casually just walked across the street without even stopping, and I had to wait for them to cross the street like we did, I'd be so pissed in that car. Like, you couldn't have waited 3 seconds for me to just drive through the stop sign. You had to walk.
I feel like everybody has that thought, though. Like, what they do is the correct way to do anything, and everybody else is just wrong. Like, if I'm walking in a parking lot, it's my right of way. But if I'm driving in a parking lot, it's still my right of way.
It's a lose for anyone else involved outside of
exactly.
you. See, I'm the opposite with that. If it's a parking lot, I will make sure to get out of the way of cars. Because the amount of times I'm driving through a parking lot and someone just walking dead center in the middle, it's like,
I would never walk dead center.
Yeah,
no.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Dude, anyone else in any other state, tell me if this is a problem. In this state, I've noticed it the most, where there's a sidewalk right there, and people are walking right on the road.
Where have you seen this?
Here, everywhere.
Oh, like just on random streets.
Yeah. Like, even in my apartment complex, like, I'm trying to get to my apartment to park, and there's people just casually walking on the road. The sidewalk is 2 feet to your right. Get on the sidewalk.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I see it everywhere, and it's just like, why do you hate the thing that was invented for you to safely travel so much?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I know, like, there's not a lot of sidewalks here.
Really?
I mean...
By your place, definitely not.
Around where I live, definitely not. I know your complex does, but with that, like, where you live, I feel like a sidewalk was necessary.
That's true.
Because if you walk on, like, the main road where I live, like, the sidewalks are very tiny.
Oh.
To the point where there's only, like, one person can walk on it each way.
I didn't know that. I guess I've never walked on the sidewalks down by your place.
No. Yeah.
I mean, we do this weird thing here where the sidewalk will just stop, and you got to cross the street to the other side to get back onto the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who designed this one? Why is this a thing?
I mean, we've come to the conclusion that any urban planning was not taken into any consideration when designing the city.
You know, I kind of thought about it of like, how nice would it be to just move to, like, we've joked about this, but move to Montana and just have nothing around. You just are surrounded by woods and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to live there personally, but like, and I've always thought this of like, of cities, like big cities, because I've never really lived in one. So now I'm just like, anytime I see like a movie with like a big city in it, or like even a small town, like a very small town, I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to live in that.
Yeah, you get bored fast in the small town.
I'll take your word for it. Unless you like really like living there.
That is true. If you like the desolate nothingness, then yes, it's nice. But also like whenever I went to Manhattan and stuff, it was so nice to just
walk everywhere.
Everything's just around. You can just take the train wherever you want, and it's just like, I don't know, I kind of like that. But the crowdedness also is a pain in the ass.
I guess if you're like in the dead middle of Manhattan, that makes sense of like how chaotic it is.
Yeah. And same goes with like LA.
Mm-hmm.
But like living in the middle of Seattle, it's just like, that'd be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. I've seen, like, I've driven in Seattle, and I always think of like, who would choose to live here? Unless you absolutely have to for work or school or whatever, but like volunteering yourself when you have no commitment to that city at all to live there, like in downtown.
I remember whenever I was trying to find somewhere to live when I first moved out here, I remember seeing a thing for a posting of someone renting out their garage to their house.
Jeez.
And I almost was like, I could make that work. Like,
I mean, unless if the garage was converted, yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, then that makes sense.
But it was like just a garage, teeny tiny garage, and it's like in Seattle. So I was like, well, I'm gonna be in the city, so that'll be nice.
Positivity.
I always thought about it too, of renting one of those storage units that we see.
Yeah.
Like the building of storage units, and like, could you turn that into like a mini apartment and just live there?
Could you though? Is that even legal?
That was the part where I never did the research, but I'm like, I don't think it would be.
Yeah. I mean, like, because then you would have to have like a place for running water as well.
Well, no, like technically what I mean by apartment of like living there is just like you have your bed and your clothes and beginning and end of that.
That's what I meant too. But then like actually living there would be different because then you'd have to have a You'd have to find a spot to do all that.
Oh yeah, you'd have to have somewhere for laundry, somewhere for
Yeah.
food. You'd be eating out all the time.
Oh yeah.
But same goes for like the van life people.
But they kind of convert their vans into something livable.
Yes, but you're also, I don't know. That comes with more
Like
complications.
they have like, the vans I've seen has like plumbing and stuff built in.
True. I think that'd be cool to do.
I kind of want to try it. Just for like a month or two.
Especially with your job, you can have like a little office inside the van.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I'm going to work today, and then I'm going to you could drive everywhere and just be in a new state all the time.
Yeah. Just show up into our Monday morning meetings from Texas
Yeah,
or Arizona or Ohio.
Why Ohio?
I don't know. It's for lovers, that's why.
I cannot wait for you to see Ohio someday. Just like you would understand of how nothingness it is.
If it's anything like Idaho, I will already understand.
Yeah, I haven't been to Idaho enough to know.
You drove through it though, coming here, right?
Yeah, and when I did, I was like, oh, this is a nice little area. I like this.
Everyone's driving hella slow.
See, I don't remember. I was coming through that like late at night, so there wasn't really anyone on the streets.
Oh, yeah. I always anytime I get stuck behind somebody from Idaho, it's always going like 10 below the speed limit.
And that's what we always say about people from Ohio.
Move out of the way.
The instant you cross the border into Ohio, you're instantly going under the speed limit. You're like, come on, people. Okay, so Ohio is Idaho. They are the same.
Pretty much, yeah.
We made a connection here.
Yeah. I've always wondered that of like different states have different other states they hate.
Mm-hmm.
So like what would Nebraska hate? Oklahoma?
Probably. It has to be another like
themselves.
And like what would they complain about too? Like their corn isn't as good as our corn.
Their corn sucks. Our corn is more yellow.
We have the yellowest corn in the country. Now I'm wondering that like who are like the rival states of other states.
If you're from a state that's not Washington or Pennsylvania or California, who is your rival?
But who's California's?
Nevada, I think.
Why? There's nothing in Nevada.
Exactly. I mean, besides Vegas and Reno.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
What is there to hate about it? You have too much desert.
You're too dry.
Get some moisturizer out there in Nevada.
Fix up your personality while you're at it.
I would love to go to like Area 51.
Oh, I wish I took part in that in 2021.
The Naruto invasion.
The Naruto invasion. I
remember like one person actually got arrested because they took it seriously and jumped the gate and ran.
Yep. I remember that too.
I just want to I want to see the aliens.
Yeah, because it's basically established that they exist.
Is it?
The government basically did say that, oh yeah, we do have.
Yeah. But I just want to see it. Like, show me. Bring it out. I want to see them.
Pick or it didn't happen.
Although, like, what if it's like the most terrifying shit in the world? Like,
do you think that's why they're holding it back from us, or are they holding it back because they can?
I think if you want to go this deep into it, I think it's being held back because the technologies that they bring with them, they don't want the world to know exists.
I guess, yeah.
Like, if you're technologically advanced enough to come to this planet
from light years away,
then there's shit that you have that we can't even comprehend.
Yeah.
And I think that's why.
That would make sense.
But I want the cool technology.
I want it.
Imagine if we had the capabilities of having a spaceship that could go light years away in moments. Like, you would have... Oh no, that's probably not a good thing for us. We would just start wars with other planets. So like...
I mean, what else is new? We like starting wars.
Exactly.
That's nothing special.
That's the one time Earth comes together as one, is when we're going to war with another species.
A space force.
Whatever happened to that? Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Maybe?
All I know is they made a show out of it, and that didn't do very well.
Did they?
Yeah. Steve Carell was in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it kind of failed immediately.
Yeah.
But just imagine that travel, like, being able to just take a vacation to an alien planet.
Would you want to do that?
Yeah. I want to see that.
For me, it's like, let all the others who are crazy enough to go first do it, and then once I know it's safe to do it, I'll do it.
That's a good point.
I don't want to volunteer myself as sacrifice to an alien species that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
What if they just take me and like cook me for dinner?
Yeah, what if we are the food?
Exactly. Oh, look, this one came directly to us.
Or the reverse problem.
Uber Eats.
They're so advanced and evolved that they don't eat at all. And
so we come along and then what?
Then we don't have food to eat because there is no such thing as food on their planet.
True. And then it'll just take years for us to get back home.
Or just like the food we can't eat. And so it like just kills us whenever we go to eat it.
Although if it's like light years away, I feel like you'd have to sacrifice yourself because you're not coming back at that point, right?
No, if we have the technology to like go there instantly, the light years.
Okay.
Not like years. I kind of thought about that. Did you ever have these thoughts whenever you found out about the Bermuda Triangle? Where you're like,
that?
I want to go in there.
Yeah. That and quicksand.
See, I was always worried about quicksand, but for the Bermuda Triangle one, it's like, no one knows what's going on. It's like...
They made it such a big deal than what it actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was...
Or I feel like we made it such a big deal than what it actually is from our little kid brains.
But there's also stuff on like the Discovery channels and whatnot too of like these fake documentaries that they always did of like
yeah, I remember those.
all these boats keep disappearing in this weird triangle. And I was like,
unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, I was like, why do we not just send a camera in there and just record what happens?
Why are we not doing more to stop this?
Yeah, where's our funding going if we're not stopping this triangle?
To the Department of Education, which does not exist anymore.
Oh my God, yes. This is why we need AI teachers, because we're not going to have teachers anymore.
Oh man, I can't wait to see. It's going to be so sad, but I can't wait to see what happens like 10 years from now.
You know, this is why we need the technology to go to another planet. It's just like, we're done with this one. We've experienced this. Let's just go somewhere else and start over.
I guess that's why they're making a Mars thing now.
What do you mean?
They're trying to make Mars into the next livable planet.
They're still trying that?
I guess. I mean, I swear, I see like articles every other year of like, oh yeah, life forms found on Mars, like bacteria found on Mars that could have proven that there was life before it all went to shit. Proof that there's water on Mars. I'm like...
They've been talking about the whole Mars thing for like the last 15 years, 20 years.
Probably since before, like, when I was in high school.
Yeah, it's been ages.
Like,
it's just like, we're going to send people to Mars and, like, live there. And it's like, when? How? That's the thing where, like, we always, like, see another planet and they're like, oh, you wouldn't believe how crazy this other planet is. It's like 3.5 light years away. And then you're like, yeah, but is there another planet in our solar system, our very own solar system? You can't even tell us that. And you're like 3-point-some light years away. There's a planet that looks like a pizza. It's like, how do you know this?
Yum.
Same thing like with our oceans of like how terrifying the oceans are, but like
yeah, we don't even know like what half of the shit in our oceans are, and you want to go like exploring light years away.
Dude, imagine if they discover like mermaids are actually real.
That'd be terrifying. Yet my childhood dream would come true.
Except they're like vicious creatures, just like
a
vicious
sirens.
Tribe of people.
The people of North Sentinel Island are mermaids.
That's what I was thinking. Wait, did you say sirens?
Yeah.
Is a siren an evil mermaid?
In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
From like the mythology of it, yeah.
Okay. I always heard the two terms, but I'm like, I don't know what the difference is between these two.
I've always seen it as a siren is a mermaid.
Okay. So all sirens are mermaids, but not all mermaids are sirens.
Frogs and toads.
Frogs and toads.
Frogs and toads.
I always thought this too, like in living in Pennsylvania, like we were talking like small towns. Mm-hmm. What would you do if like a spaceship just came down? Like, and then like a beam came down?
I like how we don't have a video version of this show, and yet you still decide to do sound effects and hand motions.
I like talking about
as if that's gonna help.
It gives you a visual representation of you.
Me, yes, not to them. But I would probably just be the one just standing there and just seeing what's going on in the back.
Well, I mean, like you're in your backyard. And it just
and it
comes down. Yeah.
I would just stand there like, Elmo, wide-eyed, staring, freeze in place, not knowing what to do until E.T. over here comes out and just says, "Phone home."
You are real. like getting sucked up into like a beam and you go up on the ship or something. That'd be terrifying.
That'd be terrifying. That'd be no.
What are you gonna put in me?
Why are you gonna probe me?
But they have giant eyes. If it holds true to what the movies taught us, they have giant eyes, so they're easy to poke. So you can just poke out their eye.
That is true. That's why you just hold like a This is why you had your safety pin.
Yes, yeah, I'm prepared.
You prepared your entire life for that moment.
Now, instead of the safety pin, I carry a larger safety pin, which is my knife.
Yeah.
I just start stabbing alien. Here, with my luck, it's like they beam me up and they're just like, all right, so we...
Scotty?
Calm down, Jar Jar.
I had to.
That joke's gonna make a lot of people mad. That's not Star Wars, that's Star Trek.
Wow.
Imagine being beamed up and they're like, yeah, we want to like take you to another planet. Like, obviously life here sucks, so we want to give you a better life, but you don't let them get to that point. And you just like start stabbing all of them. Like, get the fuck away from me. Oh, put him back. Put this one back. He's not ready to be on this.
See, if they did that, like, I would just stay there and see what they wanted.
You're like, you have your hand on your knife, like, ready to go, and you're like, all right, what are we talking about here, guys?
And they just, like, offer you food or, like, pizza or something. Okay, you're nice. Talk to me.
They know what your favorite food is, and they're like, here you go.
Hey, here you go. Now let's talk.
You're just over there, like, bobbing back and forth with your food or drink. You're like, yeah, thank you. This is how the aliens learn how to train us.
They're Pavloving us.
Do you want a cookie? Yeah, where?
Of course. The hell you mean, do I want a cookie?
You should already be handing it to me in my hands.
And I should already be eating it.
I don't know. With how much like evidence keeps coming out about aliens, I'm just like, I just want to see one already.
Could you imagine if there were like little tiny cute like things?
Yeah, they're not giant or scary at all. They're like little fur balls that are like bouncing around or something.
Like those what are they called in Stardew?
Oh, the Junibos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what if there's that?
You squish one to see what's inside.
It should be squishy and you shall be mine.
Are you gonna give me a secret note? What are you hiding in you? Or if it was like one of those things, and then like because they're so squishy and stuff, like you just pick it up, like you know how we are with humans. We just like bite into it and like, are you as juicy as you like? You look like a fruit.
That's where the intrusive thought comes in.
Yeah. And then it turns out like these things are the most delicious foods on the item, so like we take them and we start like giving them out to people. They're like little lobsters in a cage that we like, here you go, have your little slime alien. Start an intergalactic war without ever
meaning to. Oopsies.
Could you, I thought about this too. With how big space is, there could be a war going on right now in space for like the battle of the galaxy, and like we have
no clue about it. Yeah.
Just like two planets just fighting it out right now, and we're just like, I wonder if there's aliens out there.
You guys, what's out there?
Meanwhile, they're just like death out there, just like people fighting, and like it makes me wonder too, like the people who work at Area 51, how did you get that job?
I would love to meet somebody who works there, or like be their friend.
I don't think they would ever tell you.
Oh yeah, they'd have like NDAs that are just lasting like the end of their life.
Yeah, you gotta like make up where you work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, obviously you had a career path to get to that point. What was that career path?
I think you'd have to be in the military, because it is a military base.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
And so I guess you'd have to be, like, one of the top ranking officers to be, like, even allowed to be there.
But even to work there, like, as a mechanic, like, do you have to be a mechanic in the army to then be transferred to that one?
Probably.
Anytime there's, like, you see these movies of, like, super secret positions in agencies, I'm like, how do you rank up to that level? Like, Where do you put your application in for that?
Can a random civilian join, please?
Here's my resume. I'm good at Excel.
I am good at management.
Do you want to see my project tracker I made?
Don't disrespect my tracker.
I'm not. No, it's gotten you jobs. It's gotten you 2 jobs already. I'd call you up like, Anise, can I borrow your project tracker?
I need to show off.
I can't tell you why, but I need it.
Oh, could you imagine if one of us went to Area 51 or like got a job at Area 51 and like we just, knowing us, we would like just sneak something in our pockets and leave to show the other person?
Not even that. You would, either one of us, we would sign the NDA
and yap our mouths off.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. And then end of day 1, you'd call me like, dude, you're not going to believe this shit I saw. Oh, great. Now we're both going to jail because you decided to talk about this.
Witness protection.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to go into witness protection.
I can finally be Steve. Oh, I guess you don't know that story. Okay, so in college, working at Starbucks, we had this little old lady start there, and I trained her.
Like, I think, working there?
Yeah.
Oh.
She started, and I trained her and everything, and she called me Steve. I'm like, oh, no, my name's Mike. And she's like, okay, next day. Hi, Steve. I'm like, no, it's Mike. I'm Mike. She's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Next day. Hi, Steve. I'm like, I guess I'm Steve now. I'm not going to correct her every single time.
How come I never knew this?
I thought I might have mentioned it to you.
Nope.
So for my entire time working there, I was just Steve to her and Mike to everyone else.
Oh, that joke makes sense.
And then she got fired like 2 weeks later. So.
Oh, why?
She sucked at her job.
Oh, poor lady.
Yeah.
See, it's stuff like that that breaks my heart.
That's why I couldn't be a manager.
Firing old people.
Just firing people in general. Like,
yeah.
They're relying on a job and you're like, I'm taking away that money source from you.
Yeah. Way to bring this segment down.
I don't even know how to recover from that now.
No.
All right, well, that's a bummer of an ending for an episode.
Yeah.
All right, well, we do need to go. We have stuff we need to do today.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for ending this on a sad note, but be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Go follow our YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We don't post a TikTok anymore, right?
No.
Go follow our YouTube and Instagram at Intersint Pod. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.